Gee, it must be swell to be so perfect and odor-free.
Now that I have my coffee, I'm ready to watch Radar.
I got a little bit of a stiff neck. Let me just fix this up. Oh, that feels a lot better.
What's the matter, Colonel Sanders? Chicken?
I am sorry. I had no idea that was your cab.
Yogurt! Yogurt! I hate yogurt!
And this is the right category for us, John, because we've both been in a couple of films that could have been shorter.
Well, a couple, maybe.
Well, let's get to it.
Let's get right to it. Here we go.
Hey there. You're listening to the John Candy and Rick Moranis Are the Greatest Actors to Ever Live podcast.
It's Bat Time.
Hey guys, welcome back to a very super special Batman episode of the podcast. We'll be talking about all things Batman, only Batman, all the time. Why don't you tell us what we'll be talking about today, Jack?
Hey everybody, I'm happy to be here again. Thank you, Andrew, for letting me be on the show and kind of talk about this movie that I've been looking forward to for so long. I love the Batman, but I'll give you my review in a little bit. First, I want to say what we're looking into, and just thank you, Andrew, for the just the whole show and the Batman. It's 2022, so this is our special review. PG-13. This is a 2-hour and 57-minute runtime. Directed by Matt Reeves, starring Robert Pattison, Zoe Kravitz, Paul Dano, Colin Farrell, John Turturro, Jeffery Wright as Commissioner Gordon, and Andy Serkis as Alfred. Goes something like this. When the Riddler, a sadistic serial killer, begins murdering key political figures in Gotham, Batman is forced to investigate the city's hidden corruption and question his own family's involvement. Riddle me this. What did you do?
Excuse me?
Riddle me this. What did you...
It doesn't say riddle me this, does it?
Yeah.
Did you add that, or does it say riddle me this? You probably added that.
Well, it's on here. So.
The paper says riddle me this.
I just kind of, what I'm told to do is, I'm just reading a script.
Okay, that's just what I was asking. I was just curious.
Well, it's implying, like, what did you do as well as kind of like it involves the audience.
Well, what do you mean? Like, I'm just confused. I don't understand. What did you do? That's like directed at the audience?
Yeah.
What did they did? They bought a $13 ticket to watch a mediocre movie. That's what they did.
Well, it's not mediocre, and actually no one bought a $13 ticket that I know, because everyone I know went to Sam's Club and bought the AMC Pass ticket, and then used that ticket to redeem online and get the Batman ticket for less than $9 a piece.
You strike me as one of those guys that watched Batman and you audibly gasped when Colin Farrell was waddling around like a penguin, and he probably said something to the effect of, "Yo, he's waddling like a penguin. That's Oswald Cobblepot, the penguin. You get it?" And then whoever you were sitting with, you said, "Do you get it? Do you understand?"
So yeah,
that's so cool.
I nudged my girlfriend and I said, "Do you see the parallels here between the Animal Kingdom and the Batman universe? This is not only is this a joke, but it's also foreshadowing that the Penguin will have a much bigger role in Gotham to come, and I'm very excited about that." Yeah.
No, it's not foreshadowing that. It's literally just like it's a nod to all the stupid Batman fans saying, "Hey, look, he's the Penguin. He's waddling like a penguin right now." That's what it was doing. and you really enjoyed it, and you got a big smirk and probably an audible gasp is what I'm
There's
assuming.
more to it than meets the eye for a situation that Matt Reeves directed that way, having the Penguin kind of it was just not alliteration.
Listen up, Batheads. I think after this podcast and this specific episode, you're going to realize who the real Bathead is in this relationship between me and Jack, because I hold Batman to a much higher standard than I think Jack does. I'm not one of those types that audibly gasp because I see one of my favorite actors in a fat suit waddle around like a penguin. It's not going to happen for me. I hold Batman to a lot higher standard. I want good screenwriting. I want good acting, good cinematography, a good story. That's not too much to ask. Batman had a couple of those things, but was missing a lot of them.
I think they should have called this movie The Bat and the Cat. And I think that Matt Reeves really knows how to build a love story within the midst of chaos. And that is exactly what we did here, especially between the audience. There's the second... Well, there's also the second.
Dude, there was no character buildup, no relationship buildup. It was, hey, I'm Catwoman, and then kissy kissy, and then at the end, he has to make a decision, and I'm like, obviously, I don't care about Catwoman.
Yeah,
it's like you just met each other, and then there was no build-up, and then kissy and why kissy kissy? I feel like this movie was promoting just terrible moral values, just the one night stand culture, how you just you meet someone and then kissy and then you could just go on your separate ways.
Listen, buddy, the Batman and Catwoman relationship is a parallel between the movie and its audience.
No.
So it's a love story.
No, it's not a parallel.
It is.
There's no parallels in this
Batman
movie.
represents the film that Matt Reeves built, and the audience is Catwoman.
There's not a single parallel.
Yeah, there's just a connection that
this movie was way too long. I looked at my watch several times, which I never do. If a movie's good, I shouldn't look at my watch once. I looked at it 4 times and said, oh, well, when is this movie going to be over? I got things to do, places to be. I was watching it with a good friend, and I turned to him at least 5 times during either cringeworthy lines or comments or things that happened, and pretty much apologized. With the look I gave him, I was apologizing for making him go see it with me. It was like oh, sorry, man. Didn't think it would be this bad. 5 times throughout the movie. It's way too long. The script sucked.
Well,
good story. Hey, good story.
Yeah.
Good cinematography. Good universe. A great Gotham. Great. Everything was built up great. Robert Pattison. He was a good Batman. He was good. He was a little wiener as Bruce Wayne. I don't know why they made him such a wiener. But yeah, that's my opinion. I give it a 6 out of 11 because I hold it to a much higher standard. Listen, Batman should always be great because it has the best villains out of any superhero of all time. The villains are incredible. There's nothing that even comes close in the Marvel universe except for maybe some of the Spider-Man villains. It has with the villains and the depth that all these DC characters have, every movie should be a home run. They dropped the ball on the Riddler. The Riddler was a mediocre interpretation of Heath Ledger's Joker. And the payoff for the riddles and everything that was going on, there was no payoff. It was like very just simple, oh, I like to tell riddles, here's a riddle, and there's no epic payoff to any of this, and it was a big miss. Could have been so much better. I'm upset and frustrated because I am a true Bathead and I love Batman. And it missed for me. It was so close on so many different aspects. And don't call Batman Vengeance, and keep referring to him as Vengeance. It makes me sick.
All right, so I've mentioned to you previously that I think that was more of a joke.
It's parallel, huh? It's probably a parallel.
Well, not this one wasn't. This is a Zoe Kravitz is calling him vengeance because she's just kind of lightly mocking him. I don't think she thinks it's like cool or tough. I think they're flirty. I think that you have to understand that their relationship is under extreme circumstances. So if you were flying around the city as a bat, and this chick was running around the city as a cat, and you don't have anything else going for you in your lives, this is going to be a high stakes, quick little, you doing this, I'm doing this. It's kind of like a wartime situation. Wartime love, it's a lot different. So though I do agree. We saw every one of their
interactions, and their interaction was, hey, wear this thing and go spy on this person, and then, hey, let's try to save your friend, and it was a completely working relationship. There was no personal aspects to it. They didn't build any sort of relationship. It was a completely professional working relationship, and then they started kissy, and that's very inappropriate in a workplace environment. And I just think this film promotes terrible moral values, and it just could have been a lot better. And this film does not get the podcast seal of approval. Will I see the second one? Sure, because it's the Joker, and like I said, Joker is the best character of all time. So I'm going to watch it. It's probably going to be a lot better, hopefully. But we have to set these films to a high standard, and I'm concerned if I've heard several times people saying this film's better than Nolan's, and which absolutely not, of course not, not even close. So if you're saying that and you're giving Matt Reeves all this praise, he's going to be like, oh, I'm on the right track. I'm doing a good job. Let's get the same person that wrote that gosh awful script. We'll get him back for number 2. And we need to keep him accountable, because I want the second one to be a lot better than this one.
Well, I think Matt Reeves had a huge hand in writing this one. And I don't know if it was him or the other guy that co-wrote it with him that had that awful Zoe Kravitz line that everyone should know exactly what I'm talking about. The most forced, disturbing line. However, there was a lot of good in this movie. I think that you're being a little harsh as someone who
I acknowledge the good that was in this movie. Absolutely. There's a lot of good, but way too long. Let's condense that good. Let's get rid of a lot of the bad and condense that good, because there's a lot of bad as well.
There is a lot of bad. I docked some points. I think since the last time we've spoken, I've docked a little bit more. I'm sitting at about an 8 out of 11 now.
Yes, because you're hearing wisdom, and I'm preaching wisdom to you.
No, actually,
tell the audience I could show the text. I don't know if you're going to be completely honest, but tell the audience your original rating after coming out of the movie theater.
My original rating was like a 9.2 out of 11, and here's why I've docked it since. In hindsight, it has nothing to do with. I think you've made some good points. I don't think my docking is there are a few cringe lines / the riddles were too easy. I'm going to dock some a little bit there. The whole third act with the whole Riddler thugs and it being too similar to Ledger's Joker and the Joker from 2019, that's going to lose some points. You kind of struck out on originality there, Matt Reeves. You just did a movie trilogy about monkeys and being on a planet together. They used to throw poop and now they throw grenades. And so that trilogy, Planet of the Apes, was great, but you can't carry that apes throwing poo into Batman stuff again, and you're not going to. And then my other thing that I would say is you can't have a whole entire movie where they call one of the number one cool villains in Batman's rogues gallery Falcone. You can't go through the whole movie calling him Falcone and get away with it.
Right.
His name has never been Falcone. I don't care who on the woke committee wanted to call him Falcone instead of Falcone. I guess they're just trying to get rid of the Italian stuff. in movies.
Don't you mean Falcon? That was a good riddle.
I think they're trying to cancel the Italian culture, which I'm a huge fan of Italian culture. I don't want that canceled out of movies. So keep it Falcone. Don't make it Falcone. That's going to get major points docked. That's a whole point. So it would have been like a 9 out of 11, and then I realized they called it Falcone. That's out of here.
There sure is a lot of angry pasta freaks out there. I could tell you that. I did see the online community get very upset with the drop of the I. That's very important in Italian culture.
Let's
not upset the pasta freaks. Let's put the I back on there, please.
The whole thing with you grew up in New Jersey, right? And me growing up in a couple different parts of New York and a couple different boroughs, I had friends with the last name Falcone, and if I ever called them Falcone, hey, that was a serious slight and offense to them. Like they would get up in my face if I did that to them, and they'd push me around.
No, they don't like it. And the Riddler, I know he's a bad guy and bad guys do bad things, but the Riddler had the nerve to even drop a couple other letters, Falcon.
Right. And that
he disrespected the E and the I.
If you guys know me, you know that I'm a Riddler nut. Andrew and I have been friends now over 10 years. And in the time that we've been friends, I think he and I must have gone back and forth about Riddler nut stuff. How many times, Andrew? 6 or 7. Reviewing Arkham City, Arkham Knight. The Riddler in that universe, amazing. The Riddler from the animated series, we can bring him up and forward. He's beautiful, and I've got him right here. I'm a Riddler nut. He's probably my 5th or 6th favorite Batman villain. Got him on my mug, got him, all over. So
for a good part of that 10 years, your catchphrase was "Riddle me this, guys."
Wasn't it? And don't you think I've kind of grown because of it? And so I think that there is just a lot of things to be said about the interpretation of this character, making him kind of a Zodiac murderer. Well, he's cool, and I like him, but I don't know if I love him. So that's it.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's fair.
It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I think what we should do is we should give our final rating. I know we already touched on it, and I think we should do our pitch for the second movie.
I agree.
Just in the happenstance that maybe Matt Reeves watches this podcast, he looks at it. Let's give him some advice. Hopefully, a little course correction for 2. Yeah. Let's really just let's go ahead and knock it out of the park, Matt Reeves, because I'm rooting for you, buddy. Didn't love the first one, but I'm rooting for you for second one. I am gonna watch it. I will. We'll see about the circumstances. It may not be opening night, but you'll be the judge of that, maybe.
Well, my final review for the Batman is going. Well, you go first.
I'll go first. Okay. My final review for the Batman is a 6 out of 11. That's what I've always said. With talking with Jack, I was very upset about how the movie turned out because I had high hopes, high expectations. There's not a lot of good movies these days. So when I saw Batman, I was very excited for it. I saw it opening weekend. I was really excited to dig in and just enjoy a movie and eat my popcorn and really just get lost in the cinema. And that didn't happen. So if it was a normal movie, would I have rated it this harshly and given it this low of a score? Probably not. To be honest with you, it's probably a little higher than it's probably a little closer to 7. Mm-hmm. So Jack's going down, I'm going up. Let's be real. It's probably a 7 out of 11. So we're going to go ahead 7 out of 11 stars. Check it out if you want, but be forewarned. Okay. And my pitch for season 2, I want to see a different side of Gotham, a different side of Batman. Joker was teased in the next one, and my problem with the Joker depictions in the past is he's not very funny. I would love to see maybe even a director change. Maybe even let's get rid of Reeves. And Reeves, if you're watching this, I am sorry, but let's get Taika Waititi in there. Let's get some silliness and some goofs and some laughs. If the Joker's going to be in it, I want to be laughing, you know? I want to see a new, different take on the Joker. I want maybe a funny, goofy guy that does crime, but he's also funny and goofy, and we could we could have a good time with him. We could have some laughs, and we could really have more of a lighthearted take on the Joker. Sure, he's a bad guy, but he's a funny, relatable guy. He does crimes. We know that's bad, but there's no reason we can't goof laugh right along with him.
The whole Joker goof stuff.
We've seen angry Joker. We've seen mischievous Joker. We've seen criminal Joker. We've seen bad guy, psychopath Joker. I want to see goofy Joker.
Well,
is that really too much to ask?
In this universe, for a goofball to be running around so whimsically, I don't know that it would fit in Matt Reeves' universe. Here's what I say.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Let's go ahead and get rid of Reeves.
Maybe I go and I said, hey, this movie, will do 8 out of 11 stars, and here's what I want to see. For the longest time, I think we've seen these dark, crazy, creepy, quiet, weirdo Jokers, and I think that he should tell more jokes, but not like a stupid, goofy Joker, but like a funny, haha.
Oh, like a dry, witty Joker. You're kind of saying.
Well, like, remember the show from 1991 through 98 called Seinfeld?
Yeah.
So, do you remember Jerry Seinfeld in that show?
Yeah, I think I do.
Okay. Well, I kind of think of him as like he could exist in the Matt Reeves universe because it is dark and it is gloomy. And that is a great depiction of Gotham. It's very well done. I just think that you don't, they based Batman on Kurt Cobain. They based Riddler on Zodiac Killer. You can base the Joker off a comedian, and why not the best comedian ever? And I'm not talking about Richard Pryor. I am talking about Eddie Murphy, but I'm also talking about Jerry Seinfeld. And
okay, so we have similar ideas for Joker, but I'm just kind of thinking more of like a Chris Farley Joker, and you're kind of thinking more of a Jerry Seinfeld Joker.
I would say that's fair to kind of land there. We could even meet in the middle. Dane Cook. But like,
okay, yeah.
But like, I don't know why. I love the Batman. I think that the universe needs to be dark. I just don't know why we haven't had that silly business kind of Joker guy who, it's always been about chaos. And when I watch the old Joker show and I watch, and I read through comics, it's not about chaos for Joker. It's about the game. It's about the cat and mouse chasing around Batman thing. And let me see some whoopee cushions.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm really glad we're kind of in agreement here. So Matt Reeves, if you're watching this, let's go ahead. Let's get more whoopee cushions. We'll get some more silly, goofy energy.
Yeah.
But also not too goofy. Let's maybe dial it back a little bit.
Right.
Let's keep it a little more kind of witty and dry, kind of like a everyman's like Joker, a sarcastic New York Joker, metropolitan.
Just keep it PG. Keep the runtime around the same. 2 hours and 57 minutes is basically my favorite runtime. Yeah. I just think everything about this universe is shaping up to be great, and I am happy, and I am excited to see the future of the Batman universe. Yeah.
I agree. Let's go ahead. Let's do like a director's cut as well. Maybe we'll have a G-rated version for the kiddies because I know I have a little nephew, cute as a button. You have niece. Yep. You have a bunch of little guys.
A bunch of
them. A bunch of them. So let's get a G-rated director's cut. Let's make it fun for the whole family. We don't need any of the cursing. I didn't like the cursing in the new Batmans. I didn't really appreciate that. So that's our pitch for the next installment. We really hope Matt Reeves or Takiti Watiti is listening.
Yeah.
We really appreciate you guys listening. And just go watch Batman for sure.
Yeah.
But just keep our thoughts and opinions and expertise in mind as you're watching it. Maybe save some money. Maybe watch it on video on demand.
I don't have any closing thoughts really. I'm excited about the future of everyone kind of coming together to see the Batman, and I thought the parallels between life and movies for this were really good, and happy to see everyone played their part well. Let's hope everyone stays happy and healthy and it returns for the next movie. And I will hope to see some sort of connection between, Richard Pryor and the next one.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Well, thanks for watching, guys. We really appreciate it. We kind of hope you took everything we said and factored it in. And we kind of hope you realized who the true Bathead is, and kind of also keep that in mind with any other Batman content in the future. I really hope I kind of showed that to you and kind of presented that clearly.
Yeah.
And just made you aware of that. So we really appreciate you watching, guys. This has been a very special Batman podcast. We'll see you in the next Batman podcast.
All right.
Thanks for watching.
We love you and take care. Thanks for watching, everyone.